Hello and happy Monday. We are so excited to be starting off your afternoon. I'm Cassidy Rickley.
And filling in for Sneha, I'm Alexia Anderchek. You're watching NewsWatch Ole Miss. We have such an exciting show for you today, starting off with a story that's been impacting not only students but also staff here at the university.
And later on, we have an interview that will have you singing through the roof that you definitely do not want to miss. Now, Alexia, I don't know if it's because you're here, but I don't know if you brought the great weather or what, but I am so excited to see not only the sun, but it is 63 degrees outside.
Those are some numbers that I absolutely love to hear. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Mackenzie Cox, to see what our current conditions are looking like.
Good evening, Rebels. It's a beautiful day outside, 60 degrees, and a big change from what we saw last week. Warm temperatures are here to stay, but we'll have more for news and weather coming up.
As the campus grows, so does the need for more places to park. NewsWatch reporter Tyra Walton checks in with the Parking and Transportation Department to see all of the latest ongoing issues. Let's go check it out.
The Department of Parking and Transportation strives to provide efficient management of parking resources. But as the university continues to grow, there will be problems that need solutions. NewsWatch talked to a student and faculty member about issues they see with parking on campus and her solutions they feel would help.
The biggest issues, I think, are that they seem to have more people who want to park on campus than there are spots on campus, especially for people with motor disabilities. Those spots fill up almost immediately, first thing in the morning, and that is a big problem for other people with disabilities who come in later.
A majority of the good spots are gone, and they're taken by people who don't even have the right parking pass, and they never get tickets, so it causes me to have to park in probably the farthest spot away from the rest of campus just so that I can get a parking spot.
From the staff perspective, the rules aren't very clear about where students can park and where they can't. It's very clear to the staff where staff can park, I'd say that.
There are 17 students for every one faculty member at Ole Miss. With limited spots, there is more than one way that we can fix parking issues.
I think you need to assign one person to each parking lot, and throughout their shift for that day, they need to just roam that parking lot the whole time.
Having the bus system so that everybody knows it's extremely reliable and it comes really frequently would be the number one thing to do, essentially, because if a faculty member isn't here, there are 300 students waiting for them to come in and give a lecture or whatever. And if one of those students takes that parking spot, that last parking spot, then that student, great, makes it to class, and that's awesome. But the 299 other students in the class would miss out if that faculty member can't find a spot. And sometimes those spots are really far away.
It'll make it where people are starting to get hit in their pockets and they'll quit parking where they're not supposed to.
With Ole Miss growing yearly, the Department of Parking and Transportation won't be able to give everyone their dream parking spot. As DOPT continues to provide assistance for our campus community, let's make sure that as students and faculty, we are doing our part. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, Tyra Walton reporting.
The Oxford's indoor yard sale returns this weekend with 40 booths to explore. The event will be this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Oxford Conference Center. Admission is going to be $2 for adults, and admission for children under 12 is going to be free. OFC Director Micah Quinn expects a large turnout since the event brings in shoppers all over North Mississippi. Shoppers can browse booths featuring a wide array of items including children and adults' clothes, toys, books, electronics, antiques, furniture, and other home goods. Though booths for Saturday's event is completely booked, applications for next year's sale will be available this upcoming October and are on a first-come bias.
Oxford veterans were honored Saturday with a ceremony to commemorate the opening of a brand new roundabout water and RV park. The ceremony represented a major milestone in preparation for Roundabout Oxford's grand opening, since the resort took its first reservations last Tuesday. The resort's first official weekend is scheduled for the upcoming Double-Decker Arts Festival, with stays beginning on Thursday, April 24th. The $25 million project sits on 84 acres just a few miles west of Oxford. The resort will be a premium RV and water resort designed to offer premium amenities for guests. The park features 150 spacious RV sites and 20 cottages and will be available for nightly rentals up to a maximum stay of 14 nights. And for fans of music and literature, the Thacker Mountain Radio Hour is the perfect place to discover new musical and literary works in the Oxford scene.
That's right. The weekly radio show is a live event that allows artists to debut their work for a variety of audiences.
NewsWatch reporter Jay Green got to take an inside look at this week's events, featuring book readings and musical performances. Let's take a look.
Taking place downtown at Off Square Books, the Thacker Mountain Radio Hour once again introduces Oxford to brand new live music and brand new live literature.
Oh, it's wonderful. I think being able to come and play your songs for people is important work. I think crazy dreams and being able to share them, being creative, and I always feel like I'm talking for a shy friend, and so to be able to do that and then send it out over the airwaves, I'm pretty lucky.
Great musicians, and the Square Books is wonderful for putting it on.
The event tonight was awesome. It's a really cold night outside, and we thought that would keep people home, but we had a great turnout anyway, and it being in Square Books, at Off Square Books, was perfect. It was a really intimate, fun environment, and a great vibe all around.
The city of Oxford is simply sitting at the edge of their seats, waiting to see what the Thacker Mountain Radio Hour will do next. Reporting live for Ole Miss NewsWatch, I'm Jay Green.
A traffic stop Sunday led to a huge drug bust in Pontotoc County. A sheriff's deputy pulled over a vehicle on Interstate 22 near Sherman. A search of the vehicle resulted in a seizure of 720 pounds of marijuana and 440 pounds of marijuana-infused gummies. Though the Sheriff's Department has not yet announced the suspect's name, they estimate that the drugs are worth $1 million. In addition, they believe that the drugs came from California en route to North Carolina.
And finally, in some lighter news, the Oxford School District has successfully implemented iPads at each nurse's station to support the remote monitoring of blood sugar levels for students with diabetes. Director of Health and Wellness, Nurse Erin Siskey, says that the advancement helps support nurses to provide the most up-to-date medical care for students.
As of now, each campus in the district has at least one student with diabetes. This approach to diabetes management not only enhances the safety and well-being of students with diabetes, but also gives peace of mind to their families.
And coming up, I'll be interviewing a very special guest who has something big happening in Oxford.
NewsWatch Ole Miss, we will be right back after the break.
Sometimes in life, in order to move forward, it helps to look back.
To learn from the pioneers and trailblazers.
To gain inspiration from those who came before us.
To show us what it means to act with empathy and to show that love has no labels.
Join WWE and Love Has No Labels throughout the year in celebrating people from all communities and heritages.
Because when love has no labels,
that's a love we can all fight for.
Hurricane Helene, devastating impacts on the southeast. Now it's time to help the people and communities who need it most. To make a one-time financial gift to the American Red Cross, scan the QR code on the screen. Make sure to select I want to support Hurricane Helene and enter how much you'd like to donate. Or go to redcross.org/donate. Together, we will make a difference for those recovering in hard-hit communities.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Let's send it on over to Alexia, who's sitting down with a very exciting guest who will be performing tomorrow here in Oxford.
Hello and welcome back to another 4 Good Minutes. My name is Alexia Anderchek and I am here with a very special guest, globally revered opera singer Ms. Angela Brown. We're so excited to have you.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming, and we're also excited that you're starting your residency here at the University of Mississippi. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's going to look like?
Well, I'm excited just to really interface with the students here. We're going to actually today have a talk back session where I will answer any questions that the students may have about having an operatic career on a high level, and the rigors and the pitfalls and the joy of being able to sing internationally. And then on tomorrow night, I'll be part of the annual Black History Month concert, and I'm the special guest for that. And so I'm excited to be here and just perform for the public.
That is so exciting, and like I said, everyone is so excited to have you here. I'm sure those students that will be learning and talking with you are just ecstatic. You've had quite the career. Can you talk a little bit about how you got started?
Well, as I am giving also a master class here on Wednesday, I believe, for the students, I started in school. I always said I was too stupid to stop. I started with in my grandfather's church singing a lot of gospel music, and then I found out that I had this voice to sing other genres of music, and I took to the classical technique like a duck to water when I went off to Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama, and then went to IU in Bloomington, Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, and continued to hone my craft. And then finally I went to New York. I did the Metropolitan Opera Competition. I ended up covering which is like an understudy in opera in the 2000-2001 season at the Metropolitan at the role of Aida, and I ended up making my debut in 2004. And so then that was like the shot heard around the world, and I was on the front page of the New York Times above the fold. I was on the actual front page, not the arts entertainment section. I like to say that. And so it Oprah, Ebony, Essence, I mean, it just went on. And I have had the opportunity since then, making my debut at the Metropolitan in 2004, to sing internationally at different opera houses all over the world on 6 continents.
That is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, that is so incredible. I know you've had the opportunity, like you said, to travel internationally, perform all over the world. Do you have one favorite role that stands out among them?
Well, I would have to say it's kind of hard to narrow it down to one, so I'm going to give you 2.
Perfect.
Aida was the one that put me on the map. I played the role of Aida, the Ethiopian enslaved princess. And then there is Tosca. Tosca, I love that girl because she's crazy, and peeling her onion, figuring her out all night long is a great thrill for me.
That's amazing. So aside from performing in all these amazing opera shows all over the world, you also had the I'm so sorry. Can I restart that question? I'm so sorry.
I'm glad we can edit, y'all.
Okay. I just got to make sure I said the name right. That would be really embarrassing. Okay. So aside from performing all over the world in these amazing opera shows and performing these roles, you also were able to be a featured artist on the 2-time Grammy Award-winning record, Ask Your Mama. Can you tell me what that experience was like?
Oh my goodness. Laura Cartman, who also has done the music for Lovecraft Country. She did the music for the Marvel movie, and so many other things. You hear her music all the time. She asked me to jump in basically on this project because Jesse Norman wasn't able to do it. And so it just seems like in my career I have been the stand-in for Jesse Norman, and just being in LA and doing the studio sessions, everything was done separately. So I was never with any of the other performers, and it was a great heady time, and I enjoyed working on that project.
That is so awesome, and what an amazing achievement. I know you said you were working separately from the other artists, but has there been one person that you got to meet throughout your career that you were just starstruck?
Ooh, that I was starstruck. I would have to say that was Leontine Price, the first time I met, and the only time now that I'm thinking about it that I met Leontine Price. And I was in school still, and I was standing in her receiving line, and I got to her, and she extended her hand, and I shook her hand, and I was like, Miss Price, I'm just in awe of you, and I appreciate your music, and thank you so much, and I'm studying to be an opera singer too. And she was like, well, darling, you certainly have the cheekbones,
oh my gosh,
facial structure. And so yeah, I would have to say that was pretty starstruck for me.
That's incredible. So I know you said you started in school. Is there one person that really touched your life and inspired you to pursue music?
Oh, I would have to say that was my mama. My mother always told me that I could do anything that I put my mind to. And my father as well, but it was my mother that really pushed me. So because of her, I am.
That's awesome. Is there one thing that you could wish that you could go back and tell your younger self when you were just starting out?
Wow, that's a good question. Don't sweat the small stuff, because really it is all small stuff. Just keep blinders on like you did, because basically I told you in the beginning of this interview that I was just too stupid to stop. I didn't listen to people telling me that I couldn't, because my mama told me that I could, and nothing beats a failure but a try. So just keep on throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Where can we look forward to seeing you while you're here in Oxford?
Well, tomorrow night at 7:30 at the Ford Theater, we're having the annual Black History Month concert, and I'll be the special guest on that. So I look forward to seeing everyone there.
Awesome. I'm sure everyone is marking their calendars right now, because I know I definitely want to see more of that. Thank you so much again for coming on, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to meet you.
Thank you.
Back to y'all at the desk.
Thank you, Alexia. Make sure to catch up with her performance tomorrow night at the university's 20th annual Black History Month concert at 7:30 in the Ford Center. After the break, we will have your complete rundown of what the weather is looking like. But Mackenzie, could you go ahead and tell us about tonight's weather conditions?
Absolutely. It's going to be a little bit colder tonight, but nothing like what we've seen the past 2 weeks. I know we're all excited for things to warm up. I'll tell you more about what this week's temperatures are going to look like coming after the break. We'll be right back.
This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. It's a beautiful day on campus. You can't ask for much better weather than this, especially in the end of February. Right now we're sitting at 60 degrees outside and it's been mostly sunny all day. And look at that rain chance. Very low. That's what we love to see. Winds are a little bit gusty and that'll continue through this week just as things start to sort out with the temperature change, but nothing too eventful today. And it looks like we have some numbers that didn't quite load today. It is not in fact 20 degrees in South Haven. It's been a beautiful day all across the region. So nothing to worry about there in our chances of weather. Not a lot of variety as you can see here in this national picture. We're sitting in a good spot right now. We've got a lot of color up in the northwest, but really nothing that's moving on down this way. So for the next few days, we really don't need to expect anything too dramatic in weather, which is what we love to see. Now looking into tonight's conditions, we're going to be just below 40 degrees, so nothing too bad. Like I mentioned earlier, not like what we're used to these past 2 weeks. Should be on the up and up from here on out. Precipitation chance 9%, so nothing to worry about. I wouldn't bother with the umbrella or the jacket. 69 degrees tomorrow. Again, starting to feel like spring, almost summer with 70 degrees. Low chance of precipitation again, but that will start to increase a little bit throughout the middle of the week, so just continue to stay weather aware as we approach Wednesday and Thursday. And then again with our numbers playing tricks on us today, but you can see that it's going to be a similar day around what we have in the Tupelo area of 70 degrees all throughout North Mississippi. And our 5-day forecast is looking good. You can see a little bit of variation, even up to 75 on Wednesday. So it's going to be warm. Bring out the short sleeves and the shorts if you want to, walking around campus. Nothing too much in weather this week. All good news on my side, but we'll be back with more information in all things sports after the break.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Gonna be a hot one out there for move-in weekend, Ole Miss. Good luck this year, Rep.
You did it. You're home. I can't wait for you to discover the true meaning of hotty toddy. It's a cheer that connects us all to the red and blue. It's the moment that begins when you step on campus and continues long after you turn your tassel. I can't wait for you to discover your legacy and make the world a better place. Are you ready? Everyone has a ritual. That small thing to keep us focused. A habit we never skip. To clear our minds and elevate our performance. What do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Maybe you surround yourself with positivity. Or you need to center yourself. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body. It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back, Rebs. I'm Campbell Holmes with Sports Watch. Starting off, the Ole Miss men's basketball team took a tough loss this weekend in Nashville against Vanderbilt. Ole Miss started off slow in the first half, trailing as much as 23 points. They did pick back up, though, with a 16-5 run before halftime and started the second half outscoring the Commodores 18-5. Former Commodore and current Rebel Malik Dia led the Rebs with a career-high 22 points, while guard Sean Padula added 21 points. And with 4 minutes and 53 seconds left to go, the game was tied, but Vanderbilt's Chris Manton hit a three to seal the deal for his team for a final score of 77-72. The next game for the Rebs is at number 1 Auburn on Wednesday at 6. And look, we may have gotten that loss in Nashville, but the Rebs were hot in Oxford this weekend as the baseball team gets its first series sweep of their season. Ole Miss took down Eastern Kentucky all 3 games this past weekend with big scores. In one of the series games, Riley Maddox bounced back from his loss against Texas, allowing no EKU runs with 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Rebs are hoping to keep Swayze Field hot as they host Southern Miss tomorrow for a midweek matchup at 4. And keeping the winning conversations going, the women's basketball team won a nail-biter win at the Pavilion yesterday against Missouri. Sports reporter Haley Hood was there to catch the exciting win.
It was an intense atmosphere at the SJB Pavilion as the Ole Miss Rebels took on the Missouri Tigers in an exciting SEC matchup. The energy was high as these 2 rivals squared off, but the Rebels had a tough start, struggling with their shooting and falling behind early. The first quarter was a defensive battle, both teams playing tight, resulting in an 18-18 tie heading into the second period. Ole Miss had trouble finding their rhythm, especially from beyond the arc where they went 0-4 in the first. Missouri, on the other hand, found some success in game momentum as the second quarter progressed. The Rebels' struggles continued in the second as they shot just 5 for 16, including 0 for 3 from three-point range. Missouri outscored Ole Miss 22-12 in the second, taking a 10-point lead into halftime. The Rebels are going to need a strong second half to make a comeback. Coming out of halftime, Ole Miss was a completely different team. They started the third quarter on fire, opening with a 7-0 run. Star Jacobs was the driving force, hitting everything in sight and finishing the third with 11 points, all while staying perfect from the field. KK Deans was also key in the third, contributing 7 crucial points and helping the Rebels surge ahead, shifting the momentum in their favor. Ole Miss completely took over the period, outscoring Missouri 29-11 and turning a 10-point deficit into an 8-point lead going into the fourth. But Missouri wasn't backing down. The Tigers fought hard in the final period, chipping away at Ole Miss's lead. With just under 3 minutes left, the Rebels held on to a 6-point advantage, but Missouri went on a 5-0 run to make things interesting. The game was coming down to the wire. In the final seconds, Missouri had one last opportunity to tie the game after a series of several missed shots in the closing moments. With Ole Miss holding a tight lead, they managed to get another chance at the free throw line, with KK Dean sinking a free throw to give Ole Miss a 2-point lead. Missouri had one final attempt to send the game into overtime, but Ole Miss's defense came through, forcing the Tigers into a tough shot attempt as time ran out.
What a thrilling finish here at the SJB Pavilion, where the Ole Miss Rebels have defeated the Missouri Tigers with a final score of 68-66. You can catch the Rebels in action again at home this Thursday, where they will face off against South Carolina starting at 8:00 p.m., where hopefully we can keep this game-winning streak going. That's all I've got for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I am Haley Hood.
Thanks, Haley. And that's all I've got for sports, so be sure to follow us on our socials and tune in tomorrow at 5. We'll be right back after this break.
And just like that, she starts to grin. A special flame's been lit within. The spark of something new begins. There's something in the water. On her own, she's in the zone. Determination can't be thrown. Resilience building in her bones. There's something in the water. With her gator on and her waders on, she can tackle anything till dawn. There must be something in the water. On and off the boat she flies. The sky's the limit. She's soaring high. She's a force of nature on the rise. There's something in the water.
Just try one. If you don't like it, it's easy to give up. Uh-oh, nicotine. I'd better move fast. Up and away! Go on, kid, go on.
Superman, is it hard to give up smoking, or is it easy like nicotine says?
You no-good windbag, nicotine.
No, Superman. Leave me one. Please, I need one. Just...
That's how hard it is. That's why I never say yes to a cigarette.
Well, that's all we have for tonight. Tune in tomorrow. I'm Cassidy Rickley.
And I'm Alexia Andercheck with your latest news.
Be sure to keep up with our socials and tune in